Sure? Yep. Welcome to the RawDawgers Sportscast Live. I'm Sean Watson.
I'm Ryan Kessler.
Folks, kind of in the doldrums of the NFL, but we have your fix. Because we're going to go through some of the information with the NFL New Year and the NFL franchise tags. We're going to touch on a little bit of Cleveland Cavaliers in there. We're also going to go ahead and touch on the NFL Combine a bit. What we feel maybe the Browns should be doing. Maybe kind of a way too early guest list. I shouldn't say guest list. I should say NFL free agent list. You got sound over there, son?
Check. Okay.
There we go. Uh-oh, I got a little reverb.
We should have done a goddamn sound check. I forgot.
If you haven't been with us before, I mean, this is normal.
Check.
There it is. Perfect. Want to welcome in everybody for our second week of TikTok Live. We're still kind of working out the bugs with the Chinese people over at TikTok. We sent a notification in for our desktop application over a week ago. No response. We went back and forth a couple times this week. And then finally, they decided to respond to us. What is it? Was it via Reddit or Twitter? Or no, you went TikTok on Twitter, right? Yeah. Great. Way to follow up. Yeah. How's the sound on the other end? I hear it. All right. Good job, TikTok. Anyway, we're going to get back to it in a little bit. We named this episode the NFL Toe Tag, going into the franchise tag of era, I shouldn't say era, segment of the year. So the NFL New Year starts at 4 p.m. on March 13th. Of course, we have the Combine going on this weekend. Wide receiver is going to go tomorrow. The Browns are not picking till the second round. This will be the last year that's part of that Deshaun Watson deal where we lost our first round pick. I think that's very important to point out. Of course, last year we didn't pick until the third round of the draft, picking up Cedric Tillman. A lot of people consider the number 2 pick out of Tennessee, the number 2 wide receiver out of Tennessee. The number 2 wide receiver out of Tennessee. I know Jalen Hyatt last year for the Giants didn't exactly, set the world on fire there at MetLife Stadium. Although Daniel Jones, after signing that contract, they were also putting a bunch of different quarterbacks in there. Well, I mean, who was in there? Tyrod, right? Tyrod went back. Tyrod was starting some games for the Giants this last year. Jalen Hyatt was supposed to be far and away one of the better wide receivers. Didn't see a lot going on with that guy, but, whatever. But, it's not like the Browns haven't had some mishaps at wide receiver picks. Schwartz! So, starting with the NFL New Year, of course, we talked to everybody last week about the NFL. The cap increases $30 million. Generally, anywhere in the neighborhood of $20 to $22 million. This year, a little extra juice behind that as they decided to go ahead and bump it up to $30 million on March. Actually, it would be March 13th also that the NFL New Year starts. Thank you, Taylor Swift, and all the Swifties out there for getting the NFL to tack on another $8 million to a normal cap. Right. So, starting with this NFL franchise tag kind of segment here, we just want to we went over this a little bit last year, but there's 3 different types of tags during the NFL franchise tag segment. There is an exclusive franchise tag. Basically, what that comes down to is a club can go ahead and set a exclusive franchise tag on a player, and then that player receives what is, I believe it's the top 5 salaries of the players at that position. So, for instance, let's say a few years ago, Kirk Cousins got double franchised before he went to Minnesota. He was at Washington. They put a double franchise tag on him, and it went up 2 years, or from the first year to the second year, because the NFL salary cap also bumped up during that second year. So basically, they took the average of the top 5 at that paid position at quarterback, and the average is what they had to pay Kirk Cousins that year. And then the following year, they did it again, which you generally don't see double franchise tags. And then by the following year after that, and they didn't make a deal, that's where he got basically released. Minnesota picked him up for that gigantic $86 million guaranteed contract. So if anybody is to blame, it is Kirk Cousins and his COVID plexiglass box because he was afraid of getting COVID. Yeah. So the exclusive tag is they're basically waiting to make a deal. If they cannot get a deal done by usually I think it's like June or July of the year after putting the franchise tag, the player automatically gets that league average for the top 5 salaries at that position. Then there is the non-exclusive franchise tag, which the club can go ahead and put on a player, but that player is allowed to go around and basically shop themselves. So they can go to other players that go to other organizations. They can see what kind of money those organizations would be willing to get. What happens is that the club that franchise tags that player with a non-exclusive tag has an automatic bid to match any offer that player has from an existing club. And I think we probably kind of saw this last year with Lamar Jackson when he was out there trying to franchise. The Baltimore Ravens actually said, you know what, Lamar, go out and shop yourself. And then we're putting a non-exclusive on you. And then when you come back, this is what we're probably going to pay you. And when that happened, Lamar came back and it actually worked out more in favor of the Ravens because they were able to give him a certain amount of money because he shopped himself and it came back. And then, of course, he had a bunch of guaranteed money on that also. Another example of this, too, although this wasn't a franchise tag, it came with Kareem Hunt in Cleveland last year. They said, you know what, Kareem, go ahead and go out and shop yourself. And then really nobody wanted to go ahead and sign him to any kind of deal. Then Nick Chubb went down. The Browns immediately went out on and picked Kareem Hunt up at a discount. Right. So although that's kind of on a sidebar of the franchise tag, there's also what's called a transition tag. A transition player is offered the greater of the average of the top 10 prior year salaries at the player's position, which average is calculated using the same methodology used for non-exclusive franchise players, the cap percentage average, or 120% of his prior year salary. So basically, you have your prior year salary. If they want to put a transition tag on you, they don't have to go with the top 5 players of your position. They have to go with the top 10, and they can use 120% of your salary. Whatever you're making, they tack on the 20%, and then they can go ahead and put that tag on you at that time. We good to go?
Yeah, it's just, I don't think the video looks great. I don't know why.
It is kind of coming in and out, isn't it? Looks great on TikTok.
It's just like kind of fuzzy. It looks great on TikTok. Looks great on OBS.
But just not on Restream.
Yeah.
Great. Glad we All right, moving on, folks. All right. So, to drill down deeper, what does this mean for the Cleveland Browns? So, the $30 million bump on the cap is going to help all the people that are like, well, you know, you shouldn't went out and signed Deshaun Watson to all this guaranteed money. But Andrew Berry, in his wisdom, probably knowing that the NFL cap is going to go up every year, then I think he kind of got a pass-go kind of deal here where he's like, it's bumping up this year, but I'm getting like about another 8 to 10 million because the NFL's doing so well. Because Deshaun Watson's hit starts this year with the Browns at the rate of $63 million a year.
Right.
So, of course, you'll have that extra $30 million, takes the cushion. Then right now, due to this was breaking earlier this week, Denzel Ward immediately decides they go to Denzel Ward, restructures his contract. So now they're taking Denzel Ward out to 2029. Love Denzel, not sure if he's going to make it to 2026. Okay.
Oh, yeah, he will.
Well, I mean, he will. Okay, but I'm just going off the fact that because of his injuries. How many times before he got this contract were we talking about
He's never had any
Denzel,
severe injuries.
but missing games?
I mean, does anybody remember Bob Sanders for the Colts? I mean, that dude would play like 4 games in the regular season. Once they got to the playoffs, he was there.
Right.
And he's nowhere near that. He misses a game or 2 here for a shoulder or a concussion. The concussion thing's something to worry about, but I think he'll be fine. I mean, he's still, 26, 27?
Yeah. Still going out to 2029. I mean, then you're getting definitely in the tail end
But
of a DB.
at that point, the money impact is probably like 6 or 7 million.
Right. So it's right. So they went ahead and restructured it because he did sign originally that $18.5 million contract. Now it's been reduced down to 11 and change. But due to that, because of the restructuring and Andrew Berry in the front office, whoever decides to go ahead and do that, contact his agent. Now it is putting the Browns in a $12 million kind of surplus going before the league New Year starts, and you get that $30 million bump.
Right.
What are you thinking about that?
Again, people, I said it last offseason, we are not in cap hell. We are not going to be in cap hell for years to come, honestly, because it might happen this offseason, might happen next offseason, but Myles Garrett will be extended. You're going to save money that way. The cap is going to keep going up 8 to 10% every year. Deshaun Watson's now like the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league.
Great point. I did want to bring that up too.
Nick Chubb will probably, I think, will get extended. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks before the season starts. There's some, that's taking a chance. But if you're going to take a chance on anybody, I'm taking it on Nick Chubb. I mean, we have very smart people running the management in Cleveland right now, especially when it comes to numbers.
Right.
So, say what you will about, the worst trade in history for Deshaun, even though we went to the fucking playoffs last year. To me, I have a high trust in them dealing with the cap. The New Orleans Saints have been under the cap for the last decade after every season, and they still go out there and put a competitive team out there. So it's for fans to bitch about stuff like that, and especially most of them that have no idea how the cap works.
Right.
I'm not a fucking capologist either.
No, and I'm not an expert either.
But I do understand when you go into the offseason and when you are a good team and you have your franchise quarterback, you will be over the cap. You think the Chiefs aren't over the cap right now?
Sure.
You think the Ravens aren't over the cap right now?
Right.
That's just the way it is. And
right.
That's why you have smart people in the front office, and you have an owner that isn't afraid to fucking write checks, so you can keep kicking money down the road. And
right.
The cap's going to keep growing, so they have every avenue available to bring as much talent into an already very talented team. Probably top 3
Well, let's be honest about the Haslams. Now you've already got the ball rolling. Okay, regardless of however you feel about Deshaun Watson in that contract, although we're definitely spelling it out for you that you aren't capologists, and we aren't either. But now that you've already, if nothing else, Haslams know how to make money.
Yes.
Okay? Whether it comes down to Jimmy selling his shit, writing his shit over to his wife because of, once again, probably a pretty smart move.
Right.
Okay? But now that you've already got that ball rolling with the Browns, now you already have that money train going, which has allowed Jimmy Haslam to now go ahead and purchase that 172 acres that's down in Brook Park. And no, it's not to move the Columbus Crew to fucking Cleveland. So just stop right now. It's also too big of a plot of land. We covered this a couple pods ago to build a new practice facility. Although I did see some different things. Quincy Carrier was talking about this earlier this week about some of the better grades that the clubs were getting this week. Shout out to Quincy. Love his content. But now that you have the ball rolling, and not that people in Cleveland weren't always fired up about the Browns anyway, now that you've kind of secured this winning culture, whether it comes from Andrew Berry, and it starts there, and you got Stefanski, a two-time Coach of the Year winner, and now you have Schwartz that's in position, and you also have a Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. You got a Pro Bowler in Njoku. You got a Pro Bowler in Myles Garrett. You have a Pro Bowler Denzel Ward. You've already got a bunch of guys in place right now that are kind of changing this culture. And if anything shows us that all we needed was a culture change on one side of the ball, that would have been the defensive side of the ball, which Jim Schwartz gave us. And definitely pumped up that side. It definitely helps also when you have that kind of pedigree going into a certain club where you're also not asking, Dave Williams to go ahead and, and kill people for X amount of dollars. That definitely helps.
Right.
What's going on now? Oh, I see. So now you have the ball rolling. The Haslams know, just from being business people, you got to spend money to make money. Okay, they're smart people. Say what you want about the Haslams. I wish they'd buy the Indians.
Right.
Because
they will spend money to win.
They will spend money to win. Absolutely.
That's been the thing. And now it's like, come on, you can do it. But yeah, no, you want to have ownership that's willing to spend money to win. That's the goal.
So now that you got that ball rolling down the hill, and it's already gained speed, we already went to the playoffs. We already had 4 quarterbacks this last year, and we still made the playoffs. There was a chance there with the last 4 weeks of the season, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, that we possibly could have won that division. Now it didn't work out that way. So, but they just know that now you got it rolling, and regardless of what anybody says right now, Deshaun Watson is the franchise quarterback. So once you get that quarterback in place, you got a great defense in position. You got all the nuts and bolts. Then you don't have a problem go ahead and making these kind of deals. And now I'm sure Andrew Berry's in his ear saying, yeah, this is what we need to do. And Jimmy's probably like, yeah, just whatever. I got to sew and sell fucking trinkets at the Flying J. Just do whatever you want to do. Plus, I have a 10th stake in the Milwaukee Bucks.
Right.
So just do what you want to do, and I'm happy. As long as we're winning, do whatever you feel you need to do. We have our coach in place. We have our defensive coach in place. We have 4 Pro Bowlers in place. We believe we have our franchise quarterback in place. And now you just go ahead and restructure and kick the can down the road to keep the cap where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And all the clubs, anybody that has a great GM in place is doing these kind of games. I shouldn't say games. They're finding the loopholes.
Well, and the Eagles, they won a Super Bowl in 2017 with Nick Foles. You think they didn't have dead money in their cap?
Sure.
And they were just in a Super Bowl last year.
Mhm.
I mean, it should have happened this year for them. Obviously, we talked about that. But they were able to rebuild. When you have good ownership, you have good front office, you have people that are able to, draft Martin Emerson in the third round.
Yeah.
Even the other corner they took last year out of Northwestern, he was great. You have a Pro Bowl right tackle in the fourth round.
Right.
So, this is our last year without a first round pick, unless something crazy happens on the draft and we make a trade up or something.
Yeah, but I don't see the Browns doing that.
No, because you're going to have to give up. You're going to have to give up somebody for that to happen.
Well, and I think a lot of it lingers getting it. And we're going to do more as far as the draft and free agency goes. But I think, if anything, a lot is going to depend on what's going to take place in the next few weeks as far as NFL free agency, the new year. And then, trust me, Andrew Berry, Stefanski, over the combine this week. And everybody's talking about the wide receiver room being deep, which it has been deep for a while. Okay? But they're talking about maybe the tight end group's very slim. They're also talking about the defensive, some of the defensive tackles, defensive linemen being a little thin, defensive ends being a little thin. They're going to know that going into this combine. And however they want to spend that second round pick is what they're going to do. They're not going to.
I would not be surprised if it's an offensive lineman.
Really? Okay.
I don't think there's a.
And I don't have a problem with that.
I don't think there's a big hope that Jed Wells is going to get a second contract here.
Okay.
So if you like someone in that round, go for it. If it's wide receiver, obviously we want to. They're going to take one of those every year, I think. I still have some belief that Cedric Tillman can turn it around. He is a physically prototype wide receiver for the NFL, and he's kind of what we want, which is a big body guy in the red zone. Other than David.
If I can interject, I just worry about Tillman being more like a Jarvis Landry type, where I saw them trying to use him in a couple games in particular to try to go deep with him. I don't think he has that breakout speed that you want, and I think if the Browns want that, because Godwin, what do he have, like 2 catches the whole 2 catches the whole season. I think they want that burner, and he was a veteran, and nothing to take off of him.
I mean, when he was on the field, you could see the impact.
Yeah,
of the way the defense.
It was. Yeah, I mean, we saw.
This year's draft. I think next year is when you go out for that burner in the first round.
Okay. Well, and once again, going back to what I was saying about free agency, it depends, because there's guys that are out there right now. Will the Browns go ahead and make a move for some of those? I don't know. I want to ask you this too. And some of the research I was doing this week, it's also talking about, I heard them referring to Myles Garrett as almost an auto restructure. Do you know anything about how that's set up? It's almost like when the new year, it's built in his contract apparently, from what I understand, although they're talking about more than likely Deshaun Watson's going to go ahead and restructure also, and Myles Garrett is on an auto restructure, something that's already built in their contract. It's built in Myles' contract.
So for restructuring, and I don't know, this is just maybe a little nugget if you guys don't know how these things work. A lot of the times, restructuring happens without even speaking to the player,
right,
or the agent, because they're just getting more money up front,
right,
which is exactly what they want. To me, though, and that could be the case with his contract. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, from what my research said, that is set up in Miles Garrett's contract.
But
already.
after winning Defensive Player of the Year, and who Miles is here in Cleveland, and I think he wants to be here for the long haul. I think that they would extend him this year, and again, it might happen. It's going to be this year, next year that they extend him, but that might be obviously something that they're going to do to open up his cap room, and they're going to have 30 to 40 million easy because Deshaun's going to restructure.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Also, I guess how the auto restructure, and I was asking you because to kind of clarify this a little bit.
Yeah.
But the auto restructure that's built in Miles' contract, it also has stuff to do with whether it be bonuses, incentives. They can also, so he could actually, even if he auto restructures in his contract, he can still attain a lot of that money on a year-by-year basis based on his incentives and performance.
Oh, yeah.
So
Miles ain't losing any money.
No. and it also comes down to, when a player hits a certain plateau or performance, I shouldn't say performance, if he hits that certain plateau in there, then it's going to come down to, well, Miles, now that you've won Defensive Player of the Year, are you willing to restructure? We know that you are the base guy of our defense, but listen, we want to bring this guy back. We need your help to go ahead and bring this guy back. What are you willing to restructure? Deshaun Watson, are you willing to restructure? And all the signs point to the Browns are going to do that, and it's going to come in somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 million in cap space by the beginning of the new year.
If they want to go that far with it.
Well,
because
I'm just saying
with the restructuring, like we were talking about with Denzel,
right?
There's going to be dead money down the line. So I think they probably have targets in place. They have a set number of monies that they want to give out in free agency.
Right.
Because everybody could bitch about the wide receiver room. I really don't think it's that bad. I do want to add a Mike Williams.
Yeah.
And Dalton said T. Higgins, he got franchised, so
yeah,
ain't happening. A Mike Williams or Mike Evans, something like that for agency, which you could do. And if one of those guys were to be signed, it's going to be a 2-3 year deal. First year's going to be $5-6 million. Ain't going to be nothing anyway.
Right.
I really don't see them making too many more moves to open up the cap room more than 40, because I think what they want to do, they want to have enough money to sign their picks. They want enough money to probably sign 2 impact players and to fill out the roster. And then, beyond that, they want to have another $20 million in rollover to add to their cap next year.
Right.
So then that just opens up your window for
Super
Bowl even further.
Right. So actually, Quincy was talking about this. He was talking about actually of the $60 million, which he projects, probably only half of that, about $30 million, is going to be we applied to this year.
Mm-hmm.
The other $30 million is going to be a rollover, like we were talking about.
Yeah, and you want to keep doing that as long as you can.
Sure.
Because that's just going to add to the 20 to 30 to 50 million, whatever is added to the cap every year.
So knowing that, some of the free agents that, the least that I feel that maybe the Browns and Quincy was kind of alluding to also, I use him a lot, is, on the defensive side of the ball, I know the Browns drafted Siaki Ika from Baylor last year. We talked about that. Of course, very, very young. We didn't see a lot of play time from him.
He might not get play time this year either.
Yeah. I mean, but if you have Hurst, right, and you got Wright, correct?
Who's an end.
Right, or not Wright, the other defensive tackle in the middle.
Hurst and
Tomlinson.
Tomlinson. The older guy.
Shelby Harris.
Harris,
right? So
which
you have
he's a free agent. I think they'll have to re-sign him.
So what's going to come down to is, we know we got Siaki Ika, but if you can always add defensive players, and I'm a big, big proponent of adding defensive players, probably more than Ryan is, probably more than most of the people that are out there in fantasy football, because I still am on that side of the ball that the defense wins championships. Yes, you have to have a prolific offense, but look how close the Browns. I shouldn't say close. Look how well the Browns did with 4 different quarterbacks this year.
Well, yeah. Well, look at the Chiefs.
Yeah,
They had Pat Mahomes, but
yeah,
if you watch that game,
the defense.
Chris
Jones was
won that
showing
game.
up.
Yeah.
He was showing up all the time.
And we were texting during that game. It was
Yeah.
like Chris Jones shows up when, and to
Yeah.
me, that's the free agent I want.
Yeah.
I can live with Amari Cooper,
Right.
Elijah Moore, and who we have on offense. David Njoku. If Amari Cooper and David Njoku are your top 2 pass catchers,
Right.
that's better than what Kansas City has.
Right.
That's better than what the Baltimore Ravens had
Mm-hmm.
in the AFC title game. That's better than what Buffalo had.
Yes.
I mean, Cincinnati is sitting on a wealth of riches for now with T. Higgins, Boyd, which I think is Boyd going to be gone this summer.
Yeah. From what I understand, Boyd's probably going to hit the market.
Right.
And I don't.
Well,
think,
you're talking about a deep threat. That'd be your guy.
Well, Boyd's more of a possession guy, though. If you're
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about Higgins, Boyd's more of a
I thought he was a
possession
speed
guy.
guy.
Well, he is, but he's still used for a lot of possession, quick yardage type outs. Because you got Jamar and you got Higgins now. So on the defense, though, going back to Cincinnati, some of the ones that Q was talking about was DJ Reader, defensive tackle for Cincinnati.
I don't know if you need to compliment that room with free agency if you keep what you had last year.
Okay. All right.
I mean, do you agree with that?
I do. I
do like DJ Reader. I think there were some times this year where the run defense didn't look great. And to me, that always goes to the D tackles.
Right. I just think that when he was referring to DJ Reader, he was talking about maybe somebody that's not as long in the tooth, and I'm not saying Chris Jones.
Chris Jones would be, my Lord.
So, DJ Reader, you're looking at like a Chris Jones 2.0 or a 1A, where the guy's maybe a little bit younger. He's not Chris Jones, but still very, very disruptive on Cincinnati's defense. Coming up through the middle.
Well, he was their best defensive player this year, I think.
Yeah, right. So.
Well, Fix here. He's got a hard on for Notre Dame, so Browns fan. I get it, bud. I just spending that high capital on a running back this year. I don't think it's going to happen. If they're going to draft a running back, they're going to do a Jerome Ford type 4th round, 5th round pick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Nick Chubb's going to be here for another 3 years.
We're going to get into it. Well, and I have some people on the list here, too, that I just wanted to kind of pick your brain. Also, of course, you talked about Chris Jones. Also, L'Jarius Sneed just got franchise tagged by Kansas City. So Kansas City, in all intents and purposes, wants to go ahead. They want to go ahead with that move to go ahead and extend Chris Jones's contract. So it's probably not going to happen. That news just broke yesterday. Earlier in the week, when I was looking at franchise tags and going back to what Dalton was talking about with T. Higgins, which we're getting into that a little bit, they went ahead and put that exclusive franchise tag on him. But also, L'Jarius Sneed just yesterday was also franchise tagged by the Kansas City Chiefs. Tom Pelissero went ahead and broke that news. And like I said, they want to go ahead and go ahead and extend Chris Jones is really what they're hoping to do. Now, with that in mind, is Chris Jones, would he be complacent at Kansas City? I would say no. If you had anything going on in your mind, because just like Travis Kelce was talking about, we were trying to go for a three-peat, something that's never happened in the NFL Super Bowl era ever. Now, the chances of that happening, we've talked about it before, it's probably not going to happen. I would probably put my house against Kansas City this following year. And I said I would never go against Mahomes.
It's hard.
I agree. If there's
it's hard to go back to back in the NFL.
Yeah, let alone a three-peat.
Right.
The Lakers in the NBA, I remember when I was a kid, the Lakers in the NBA back during the late 80s, early 90s were going for that three-peat, and they still came up short. And we're talking about the NBA.
Right.
it's not much. It's not nearly as paradoxical as the NFL has become. NFL is, which makes them so good, is that they try to make it so that teams can't do that.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, hell, that if you're running a league, I wouldn't want the same team to fucking win every year either. That just
this isn't Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball and him fucking that around. Okay, he looks like because of the shit that happened last year.
Right.
You still have a fucking salary cap problem.
Right. Well, it's not the NBA in the '60s either.
That's true.
Fucking Celtics every year.
So
but they also only have 10 teams.
Here's another name I want to throw out to you, because this was a little bit part of, and he's still a free agent. Chase Young, the defensive end.
That would be, and so I know we kind of covered effort being a problem in San Fran.
Yeah.
Kind of covered some of those things, but
although he did show up in the Super Bowl.
He did. If you look at what AB has done well in Cleveland, is getting guys with top pedigree.
Yep.
That have had issues elsewhere, whether it was in college, whether it was in the NFL, bringing them in and giving them a shot. I think that'd be a great signing, because he's not going to be. It's not like he's going to get that much in the open market.
I don't think he is either. And
I don't think it's going to be nothing, but it's going to be 8 to 12 million.
Well, and here's my thing too. So we signed Zadarius Smith last year from Minnesota, along with Tomlinson. We signed Zadarius Smith. We had, what was it, 1 year, $10 million, right? Was it 1 year, $10 million? Or not Tomlinson, Zadarius Smith.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It was something like one for 10 with incentives, or 1 for 12, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So you have to think to yourself now, if you're a Browns fan, you're Andrew Berry, do we go ahead and try to re-sign Zadarius Smith? Is he going to want to come back? Because you also got Obu Okoronkwo last year also, who, shifts in and out. You got Miles moving around, and you got Z kind of moving around at defensive end. Do you want to go ahead and try to secure him for another year and just go with what we had this year? I wouldn't either, but what's Chase Young going to be asking for? What's his agent going to be asking for? And do we want to go ahead and take a shot?
Yeah, I think that's, to me, even, the ceiling or the floor with Chase Young is still good.
The ceiling with Chase Young is phenomenal.
If you could get a 2-year deal for $20 million.
Yeah, which is the same as Z's contract, basically, but it's over 2 years.
Or even if you could do 3 for 28,
25.
32.
I'm going to go 25.
Even if it's 10 per, because, like we said, the salary cap's going to keep going up.
Right, true. Yeah, true.
You have a guy that you could be paying $8 million for that could be a DPOY candidate.
Right.
And he's in his prime. I mean, the dude's, 26, 25?
And that's really the biggest thing with...
And he could almost be like the next guy after Miles.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about a guy off the other side of the edge. If you feel like he may have the potential to disrupt shit more than Zadarius Smith, who's a little bit older, or somebody with an oboe that you could still kind of move in and out, and because if you're able, and this goes back to the defensive tackles they were talking about, and Q was also talking about this. If you can go ahead and you have Hurst or you have Harris in there, and you're able to put different guys in different formations, keep your defense fresh, and you have that opportunity to go ahead and do it. Right. And this is a really bad problem when you're talking about, the Browns defense. It's amazing what 1 year can do from Joe Woods to
I think
where we are now.
The defense as a whole is just going to get better playing in the same system for another year.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Dolly. Average 7 yards a carry, just shy of 1,400 yards rushing, 12 games.
Who are we talking about here?
Notre Dame running back.
Yeah.
You want me to pull up Jerome Ford's stats? I mean, I get it. I would. Hey, I just. Why would you pick a running back in the second round if you're the Browns right now?
He's not. And actually,
I mean, the offense is going to be built around Deshaun, and I know for a fact we can come back to this. Nick Chubb will be just fine. He might even be stronger coming back from this.
I'm not even
I
worried.
think he's going to be Adrian Peterson. He gets that.
I love that.
He could come right back and go roughshod through the league. Maybe in the third round. If he's there in the third round, hell yeah, pick him up.
Maybe.
Make him, boot Jerome Ford out of here.
Maybe.
Because I'm not a big Jerome Ford fan after last year.
Yeah.
I know he's young. I think he's got room to grow, but there was a lot of times where, everything had to be perfect for him. And Nick Chubb being gone showed everyone.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Nick Chubb ain't just another guy. And that's why you pay him the money that you pay.
Well, and the other thing is, too, if you want to go down that road, do you feel like with the Browns, with Flacco down that stretch, are the Browns winning one more game with Nick Chubb? Is it possible the Browns won the division? Are you putting that much merit?
I think it's hard to tell. But
you don't know. I'm just going as a hypothetical.
The chances of us, losing in Seattle with Nick Chubb probably ain't happening. Because that game was close with P.J. Walker basically giving the game away. The Baltimore game at home, I think that was just
Yeah. The Baltimore game at home
hell, I was up in Cleveland and we didn't know Deshaun wasn't playing until that morning.
Right.
And some of those other losses, maybe. I think you end the game or end the year with 12 wins at least.
Okay, so you're giving Nick Chubb an extra game if he's playing. At least the Browns get another win.
Oh yeah, and I think going into the playoffs, I think that's where it really matters.
Yeah.
Because
Jerome Ford wasn't it.
We were one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And we talked about going into the playoffs, and I said this, you had to sling it because we didn't have a running game.
Yeah. And we talked about this too. And I'm still a firm believer though that the back-to-back pick sixes by Flacco wasn't the end-all be-all of why we lost that game. Now, it put the stamp on it.
Yeah, no, the defense is what lost that game.
Yeah.
But not being able to run the ball.
Yes, I agree with you.
Could that have
changed?
There's laws in every game that if you watch those Joe Flacco games, there's laws on the offense. Where it was 3 and out, or it was a first down, then you're punting, because basically the only way that you're moving the ball is throwing the football. And Joe did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch. 2023 will go down forever for me as one of the funnest seasons to watch in the NFL as a Browns fan.
Yeah.
But I knew going into those playoffs, it had to be like everything had to line up, and it almost seemed like it was going to until it didn't.
All right. Moving on. How do you already said this, how do you feel about the wide receiver room?
I like it.
Is Elijah Moore underperforming as the two?
Again, we just talked about having 5 fucking quarterbacks play last year.
Okay.
I think
it's fair.
If you have Deshaun in there, those first 2 games that Deshaun played, and then, even the 5 games that he really played in, not counting the Indy game, because he came back too early, Elijah was getting targets and he was making catches. And I really like the addition of the offensive coordinator. I think that he's going to be
Ken Dorsey,
800-plus yard receiver. Amari's still going to be the number 1 guy. And when he came in to play the X position in that Jets game, when Amari was out, he played really well until he got hurt. So I have no problem with Elijah Moore there being the number 2. If you can add a Mike Williams, or you can add a Mike Evans, or you can add something there.
Well, that's why I want to go to. So
I'm not against adding to the wide receiver.
There's 2 big names. Okay, Mike Williams from the Chargers that we know is.
He played with Deshaun in Clemson.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mike Williams, of course, he had the ACL injury earlier this year. Yeah, you're probably if that's and because we know what's happening with Justin Herbert and what his contract's gonna call for with the Chargers, they've already talked about Austin Eckler leaving. He's kind of lost a step, although they put a lot on him this last year. Of course, you have Jim Harbaugh taking over the reins there.
Right.
So he's going to go. That defense is probably, even though Harbaugh probably doesn't want to see it, they have an older defense there with the Chargers. There's a lot of guys that I've already heard them talking about the Chargers. They're going to hit cap hell here. I mean, because if you're talking about...
Well, and that's an owner that doesn't want to spend money.
Yeah, true. Although he did offer, we talked about it, offered Harbaugh a lot of money.
Yeah, but...
It would match, yeah.
But that's one contract.
Okay, true.
I'm saying cash every year. The guy just spent $2 billion there and nobody's showing up for the games.
Right. Right, true. So, if Mike Williams would become available, obviously, you want to go ahead and get that guy, right? The other one you're talking about is Mike Evans, also an older receiver at this point. We should just throw it out there. But still, you're talking about a guy...
He still had one of his most productive years ever
He did.
with fucking Baker Mayfield.
So, right. If Mike Evans, and they're still trying to work shit out there, although I will say this. I found this little nugget today. USA Today Sports recently predicted new teams for the NFL free agents. The Cardinals were predicted to land 2 of these free agents. 2 of the biggest names on the list. Was that? Yeah. Mike Evans and defensive end Chase Young. Coming out from USA Today.
I could see Chase going there. Why would Mike leave? Because even if he... I guess staying in the NFC, I mean, they look pretty good with Kyler there at the end. I could kind of see Mike going there. But if you really want to win...
Right.
I mean, like... I think...
Well, Evans already has a Super Bowl ring.
If you ask DeAndre Hopkins...
Right. True.
Where he'd rather be right now, in that fucking shitty situation in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really think that free agency, we've already seen it in Cleveland. You know, players coming here that just won a Super Bowl. You know, like the safety, we got Thornhill.
Right.
I mean, people want to come to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because it's a good situation to be in. You know, Joe Flacco, he's going to test free agency, but it's also not out of the realm of possibility that he's back next year. Because everybody's like, oh, he's going to want a starting job, but you know, the guy's going to be 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bridge quarterback at best.
Right.
Nobody's going to give him a bunch of money to go fucking start for him.
Right, and we ran into this. Well, that's the reason why he was available, right? Because the Jets weren't going to do it. He realized Aaron Rodgers was coming in.
Well, and they had Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And that was their number 2
overall. Although, just came out earlier this
he's
week.
looking for a trade partner or whatever.
No, not even that. No, I think the Jets are going to outright release Zach Wilson.
Yeah, because what are you going to trade? I mean, you could probably go like a 5th or something for him. He had a couple good games last year.
Okay. Whatever.
You get something for him. He's still under contract. That's a cheap contract.
A couple of MILF trades.
He's still the GOAT for that.
I would actually want Jack Wilson to be my wingman.
Jack Wilson?
Well, my tongue's a little thick. I mean, Zach Wilson. I mean, I would definitely hire him if I could get the right money to be my wingman at any type of MILF bar.
Dude, that's Stifler right there.
Then we should do that. We should do that. Zach Wilson is the new Stifler. That's so good. All right, so Mike Evans, it's being reported from USA Today that Mike Evans and Chase Young, bold predictions, land with Kyler Murray playing video games with the Arizona Cardinals. And you know what? They need it because, I mean, Marquise Brown was just there. Not very impactful. Of course, Kyler Murray was hurt a good part of the year. He came back. Cardinals did look better with Kyler Murray. Of course, you can look better with the Cardinals without Kyler Murray. Because remember, we played them and we had a hell of a game.
Well, and the Cardinals to me are still probably bottom feeders in that division. But
what if you get Chase Young and Mike Williams with Kyler Murray?
Doesn't really tip the needle for me.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, maybe they're going to compete with the Rams for 3rd.
Okay. Actually, I feel I'm gonna throw this out there.
Seattle's going to drop off.
No, I think the Rams are gonna elevate. I have a feeling the Rams are gonna elevate, and I don't want to give credit to what happened? It wasn't plugged in, was it?
I thought it was.
I heard it. It has to charge. It's okay. Anyway, I think the Rams just coming off this year, of course, Matt Stafford getting older again, but I think they have enough secure players in place there. Whether you feel like Sean McVay is the guy or not, well, they're saying they think they are. You should think they are.
Yeah.
I actually feel like Sean McVay. Who are you rooting for in that division? I mean, with you got Shanahan over there, you got Sean McVay. That's tough.
I've never hated the Niners. So.
Yeah, I'm not a big.
They're one of my I kind of like NFC teams, and that
Yeah.
was before Shanahan got there. I just always liked the helmets and T.O. and
Yeah. All right.
Steve Young and
Fair enough.
Jeff Garcia.
Fair enough. I just it's a division I really want to hate. Actually, I hate them. I don't like any of
Seattle?
these teams. Yeah, I'm not a big Seattle fan. Either.
Well, I kind of developed that because I hated the Steelers, and when they played in the Super Bowl, I wanted them to win that.
Okay.
And fucking Hasselbeck.
All right.
Goddamn Mike Holmgren, then he does that shit and then comes to Cleveland and just eats fucking KFC and
Lays an egg.
yeah.
All right. Another one, running back to replace Kareem Hunt, because Kareem Hunt's out, right? Now
I don't know if that's a foregone conclusion.
Here's a great name though, and I didn't learn this until I was watching Q's video. A.J. Dillon.
Green Bay?
From Green Bay.
That fat fuck?
Well, it's not. You know, I actually like him.
I do too.
I like him a lot. Here is what he was talking about with A.J. Dillon.
I think you get a hometown discount with Kareem, though.
Okay, that's fine. But here's the upside, what he was talking about with A.J. Dillon, is that if something were to happen with Nick Chubb again, A.J. Dillon
he could be
a
number
bell
one.
cow back.
Yeah.
Where,
That's for sure.
Aaron Jones is more of... And Aaron Jones is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy was great.
He's
You know,
gonna be
all
30 years
the
old,
way
maybe.
down the stretch and into the playoffs, he was having 100-yard games.
Right.
But now you have A.J. Dillon, which he runs over people, and he could be, even though he's an intermediate back, which would be what Kareem Hunt is, he has a lot more upside than what Jerome Ford has, because he can take over that role and be your bell cow back.
Right.
Where Jerome Ford, and you and I both agree, that's not going to be that guy. So, A.J. Dillon, if he
I
becomes
wouldn't be mad at
available,
that. I would be mad. And that's where I think they make a splash, other than I don't think they're going to draft a running back. I think that's going to be, because you can get running backs for cheap now, especially when they're not top tier.
right?
I think I would be against that move.
I would.
I like A.J. Dillon too.
Yeah, I do too.
Short down back. I mean,
Yeah,
if Chubb goes out, you still have a bell cow guy.
right.
So I like that. I like that.
How about here's another one. How do you feel about a linebacker core?
I think we have one of the better ones in the AFC North.
Okay.
I think it's
Alright.
Baltimore than us.
You know who's available?
Well, I'm sorry, I can't say that. Because fucking technically TJ Watt's a linebacker.
So here's a guy. Speaking of Seattle, linebacker.
Actually, before you go into that,
Go ahead.
I actually think if I said that TJ Watt's a linebacker, I think JOK is a top 5 off-ball linebacker in the league. So I think in our defense, the way that we're set up, I like our linebackers. I think JOK, I even like Tony Fields. You bring Taki back. He was actually really good in coverage
And
last year.
Taki's up for contract.
Yeah, re-sign him, and I think
Okay.
you're gonna get a good deal for him. And then I think next year you'll see JOK get extended. You know, it's funny because all the good players the Browns draft and that are here, it's like they get re-signed.
Right.
It's like we have all the money to spend.
And that's kind of what you want.
Yeah, and it's awesome. You know, and they're gonna let Walk go, and I like him, but he just can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
It comes down to the availability issue.
Yeah. You know, 1 year is one thing. 2 years,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if he wants to come back for 1 year, $4 million or something. Okay.
And he might.
Yeah.
I mean, because
he's good enough in that room at least, and when he plays,
right.
He's great.
Right, but you have to play.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to throw a name out here to you. Jordan Brooks, 4-year starter, and his stats just keep going up. Now, Bobby Wagner, we know they brought him back from the Rams. Okay. Probably going to be the Mike linebacker there.
Oh, yeah.
The guy keeps. No, I'm talking about Jordan Brooks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I feel like Wagner.
Are you in the Bobby Wagner train?
I love Bobby Wagner.
I love Bobby Wagner too, but that dude lives on the West Coast.
No. I'm saying Jordan Brooks is up for contract.
Oh, I thought you meant
As the linebacker.
Start there.
No, I think Seattle's going to do, and Geno Smith already had a restructure earlier this week. I think they're going to try to keep that defense intact. They have a couple young corners. I think Seattle's path to any kind of division win is still going to run through that defense, right? So if Bobby Wagner's getting a little long in the tooth, and the guy was fantastic once again,
yeah.
And this Jordan Brooks is the guy.
Well, their defense really wasn't that great last year.
No.
After like week 10.
Yeah.
What Seattle needs to do to win that division is get some offensive line help.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like if the Browns could go ahead and somehow get Jordan Brooks as going to be a 5th-year starter, I'm getting that fucking guy. I mean, not that I don't like Taki, but if you can go ahead and get a Jordan Brooks, go get it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'd be great beside each other.
Yeah.
I think Taki and JOK is absolutely great here. It'd be 2nd year in the system. Like I said, Taki was like a top 5 coverage linebacker last year. And he's known to be a run stuffer.
All right.
So that's all I'm saying. If you're dollars and cents, I think it'd be smarter to spend that money up front on the defense, because I think you can never spend enough on your defensive front and your offensive line.
The whole defensive side of the ball, really.
Yeah, but I think you have the guys in that linebacker room, and that they have, like I said, Tony Fields. I think if Jacob Phillips come back, talk about a guy that can't fucking stay healthy, I think he would have he'd be starting now at this point. But
right.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna make that kind of move and spend that kind of money at linebacker, other than re-signing the guys that they have.
Okay.
Because I think JOK is gonna be that guy in that room for the next 10 years.
All right. We're going to move on to some franchise tags this week. This week, we already kind of hit on this a little bit. I just talked about it. Well, first, going back to Dalton, what he was talking about. T. Higgins. The Bengals officially placed a franchise tag on Higgins on Monday, this past Monday. They'll have until mid-July to work out a long-term deal. So the exclusive franchise tag. So either the Bengals can go ahead and make a deal by July, or they have to go ahead and pay him the average of the five players. Is what it's going to come down to, top 5 players. Yeah, he'll make somewhere in the neighborhood of over almost $22 million this season with the tag. So, and now that we're talking about, Burrow, who people, fail to believe or fail at saying, hey, who is the worst injured quarterback in the fucking AFC North when you're talking about big fucking money deals? Joe Burrow should be right at the fucking top of the list.
Well, that's even with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, Deshaun got hurt this year.
Yeah.
Every other good quarterback in our division has been hurt fairly regularly.
Right.
And with Deshaun, honestly, he's played through most of his injuries, but when you fuck up your throwing shoulder, that's when you need to do your job.
Right. So T. Higgins, Bengals are going to have to work something out in that condom of fucking practice facility, they call it. Also, we talked about this, L'Jarius Sneed with Kansas City and franchise tagging him, hopefully to go ahead and extend Chris Jones, which kind of deflates the balloon on our end. We would love to have Chris Jones. Oh, something else you and I talked about earlier this week. Apparently, Kansas City has also secured former accused domestic violence or rapist Matt Ariza from the Bills, and we talked about out of the San Diego State Aztecs.
Well, Kansas City should be canceled.
Well, so from what I understood, I heard this on Gottlieb's show that they had a special guest on there that was dealing with, and he basically said, and this is hard to believe, but he's basically saying that he watched a lot of San Diego State games and that Matt Ariza is better at his position than Tom Brady is at his position. By position.
Okay, well, this dude better be hitting fucking bombs.
All I can say is the guy better be hitting fucking pylons inside.
Right.
And checking the ball up.
Right. It should be hitting at the half-yard line every time.
And he shouldn't be checking the fucking ball down. All right, I'm going to leave that there for you, Ryan.
Check it down all you want.
Yeah,
check, 7 rings.
Check it down. Check. All right. Also, the other, we can do this too. I might have to take a piss before this, but we also talked about doing the way too early NFL power rankings this week. I'm gonna go piss.
All right,
I'll be right back.
Way too early NFL power rankings.
Go ahead. You can start yours off. AFC
I'm going to start
North.
with the AFC North.
Sure.
This is a Browns podcast. In no way do we do any type of homerism here. Ever. But fuck it. I think next year is the year that we have a home playoff game in Cleveland. What we have on defense, what we've seen, I know the road defense wasn't great, and that's something I bitched about all year. But if you look at what happened in Indy, what happened on the road in Denver, I mean, hell, we couldn't move the ball. They were on the field the whole game. There was a lot of things that happened. But when we played at home, it was almost, you had that crowd behind you. But there was also a few games that Deshaun was playing, and the offense was, even if we weren't scoring points, we were moving the ball, we were staying on the field. I think with Nick Chubb, Deshaun, and what the offense is going to bring next year, and it's going to evolve itself, and the defense that we have, I don't see another team in the AFC North that really scares me. Baltimore doesn't scare me. What I seen Deshaun do on the road in Baltimore is something I've never seen a Browns quarterback do since being back in '99 with that fourth quarter comeback. And the Bengals, we've owned them since Burrow's been there, so I don't really give a shit about them. And with the Steelers, I think we're going to sweep them next year. I think Nick Chubb getting his knee blown out the way it did.
Fuck you, Minka.
In that game, kind of turned the tables of that game. I mean, it was, and Deshaun gets better every year, even in Houston, as the season goes on, which showed this year when he kept playing. He got better and better and better. I think we're the better team out of any team in the AFC North. Unless there's a bunch of injuries, I don't see any of those teams doing better in the regular season than us, other than maybe Baltimore. Because Cincinnati is not a regular season team. They're going to deal with injuries, and they're going to deal with the bullshit that happens with being from Kentucky. I just think it's our year to have a home playoff game.
So basically, they're going to have dysentery for eating fucking chili from the Ohio River water.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
definitely dying of dysentery.
Perfect.
Yes.
What I didn't hear all this because I had to piss.
Drain the main vein.
Yes. So obviously, how are you stacking the
AFC
North? Just give me the rundown.
Cleveland,
Okay.
Baltimore,
Uh-huh.
Cincinnati, Pittsburgh.
Okay, Cleveland winning the division by a game.
Fuck, we'll throw records out there. I think Cleveland's 13-4. I think Baltimore's 11-6.
Wow.
Cincinnati's 11-6.
Okay, go ahead.
And Pittsburgh's 8-9.
Okay. I'm going to go against you a little bit on this. I am going to go ahead and go with the Baltimore winning the division. You know my hatred for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. I am still going to go. I think they're going to be 13-4. I think the Browns pick up another win this year. I think they're going to win up with 12. I would love to see yours.
Well, to me, Deshaun was 4-1 as a starter last year.
All right.
The one game, you could say he played shitty in Pittsburgh, but honestly, it was left tackle biffing a block away from us winning that game.
Yeah.
So, and Njoku had a fumble. I mean, he wasn't the only one that played like shit that night.
Well, and we just won 11 games with. I agree with you on that. I do. I mean, I could see it being your way, and please, you just fucking mark this pod because I just want you to revisit this.
Right.
You know, whether Cincinnati comes back to life, I still think they're finishing third in that division.
Yeah.
They're third.
They do not scare me.
That is my absolute solid pick. You could take this to the fucking bank. We should bet it immediately. But I think Cincinnati finishes third in the division behind Baltimore and Cleveland.
Well, I think their division record's not going to be great because they do not play well in the AFC North. They're not built to win the AFC North.
Okay.
That's just the way it is. I said they're going to be 11-6. They're going to be 2-4 in the division.
Right. And I also feel like despite all the injuries that Joe Burrow has, the fact that if he does stay healthy and Pittsburgh they go ahead and ride Kenny Pickett for another year, which is what they're saying right now. Of course, we're way into the early parts of the NFL New Year. That regardless, you can't finish any better than fourth in the division, right? I mean, the Steelers.
Dude, if they finish better than fourth in the division, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't care if they trade for Fields. I don't care what happens with the Steelers. Their defense was not that good. They created turnovers, and turnovers, honestly, with what they had on defense and the injuries that they were dealing with, was a lot of luck. They played a lot of teams.
They did.
That were at the worst in the part of the season that.
Except for week 2 against us, right?
Yeah, but again, that's Monday night at home. They're historically great Monday night at home.
Right.
I just that ship is sailing downward. I don't care.
It has to be.
They're not going to be fucking 9-8, 10-7 next year.
And we know this. The Steelers generally, with the Rooney family, they don't move up the draft.
No, and I don't think they're going to trade for Fields. People keep thinking that. They're going to stick with Kenny Dickhead hands.
Okay.
And they're not going to win a lot of games. That defense. Right. How many years can Cam Hayward play at the level that he plays?
Right.
He was out. They didn't play very good on defense. And T.J. Watt, he's a good player.
He's great. No, I'm going to say T.J. Watt's great. I mean, is he soft like Kevin Durant?
No.
No, yeah, he is. Oh, and he's out there fucking bitching on Twitter about how he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. Then he is the NFL equivalent of fucking Kevin Durant.
Right.
Minus the Ortega tacos and the only endorsement he can fucking get. His fucking brother's a goddamn all-star. He's out there doing fucking old El Paso commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Getting some Latino pussy.
Yeah. Oof. All right. Jesus. That's how he does it, too. AFC South then. AFC South.
AFC South. All right, I'm going to actually go Jacksonville 1.
I agree with you on this.
Houston 2.
Uh-huh.
Indy 3. And Tennessee 4.
I'm going to give you a solid 4 on Tennessee. I think Tennessee is...
They're going to have to take a year to figure it out.
I'm going to tell you this. I think Tennessee...
They're the unknown.
Well, I think... No, because Derrick Henry is going free agent too. Ryan Tannehill also. I feel like Tennessee could bring up the rear in the whole AFC. I feel... And I haven't felt that way for a long, long time. But I think they could be the worst record in the AFC right now. Going into this coming season.
New England
that's my
might
guess.
be right there with
Vrabel. Vrabel is now out.
Yeah.
They
weren't good with them last year.
Yeah. I just feel like Tennessee definitely is our 4.
Yeah. In that division for sure.
They're the 4. It's a little tough in the middle for me. Because we don't know what's going to happen with Anthony Richardson. I know he didn't get a lot of before his season-ending injury. I still feel like the Colts have the best. Well, not the best. Yeah, maybe the best defense in that division. We know what happened with Minshew. Whether Richardson comes back and he does this, and they're going to go ahead and secure it. I feel like Houston could be 2 or 3. If Houston finishes at...
Well, power rankings, though?
Yeah.
I think they're...
Oh, okay. We're not talking about
overall record, but no. Go ahead.
I still feel like... Yeah, I feel like in as much as I dislike Trevor Lawrence, going back to the Clemson Ohio State days, I feel like that's still the team to beat. They have the most solid coach in that division, I feel, at this point.
And Lawrence is still a veteran quarterback that's shown that he can play in the league.
I don't know if I would consider him veteran, but I'm still...
In the conference, or in that division he is.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Very, very, very true. Yes, he is the veteran quarterback in that division now. I feel like if Trevor Lawrence gets healthy... Barring any injuries, they're definitely at the 1. I agree with you on this. The 2-3 is...
I think Indy's going to be nipping right there with Houston.
Okay. It could end up right... Okay. So I think it's Indy or Houston could end up with a wild card again, right?
Yeah.
With Jacksonville winning the division. We'll have to revisit this. Okay. AFC East. This is interesting because Aaron Rodgers coming back off of that Achilles, right? But you still have Josh Allen in Buffalo.
The Jets is the Jets.
Right. That's true. But you still have Josh Allen in Buffalo, who in Miami with Tua, right? So where's New England? What are they doing with Gerard Mayo?
They're shit.
They have to be bad, right?
Yeah, they're going to be bad.
Are they finishing?
A lot of hard R's down there in New England.
Are they finishing worse than the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's tough.
To me,
you can flip a coin.
Yeah, I love Gerard. I love him as a player.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a good coach. But
Still tough.
I don't think they're going to get the quarterback they need at the pick that they got, and they don't really have anything around them other than aging, overpaid tight ends. I mean, it's bad there.
So going to the draft, way too early draft though. New England's picking pretty high.
5, I think.
Okay, right. So let's say
but,
Caleb Williams goes off, whether the Bears take him or not.
Yeah.
They trade.
So if they get Drake May, even if they
not
get
even Drake May, I'm not even going there.
But even if they get
Jaden Daniels.
Even if they get a good quarterback,
okay.
There's not enough around him in that offense to me. Unless they hit fucking, which they haven't done in almost 2 decades, draft a good wide receiver. God, I got almost sneezed.
Sneeze on this. With pepper.
And to me, the defense isn't great. Bill's not there anymore, so I think Gerard will be fine on the defense. But New England is not going to be good next year.
I agree.
They're going to have to deal.
They're finishing 4 in that division.
They're going to have growing pains, and I think 3 in that division to me. Shit.
It's tough. Are you gonna put Miami down there, or the Jets? Are you gonna actually sink the Bills to 3?
That's what I can't.
Have the Bills? Has that window closed for the Bills?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Fuck. Well, and just for clarity, I think the third team in this division is winning 9+ games.
Okay.
I think 3 Miami, 2
More or less than the Steelers?
more.
Okay.
Well, it might even be a push.
Right.
Well, no, it'll be more. It'll
It's
be
tough.
More. It'll be
It's
more.
tough.
I don't think Pittsburgh's going 500 next year. I think 3 Miami, 2 Buffalo, 1 Jets.
Okay.
It's their year to win that division, I think.
I'm gonna actually. I'm gonna take. I'm still taking the Bills to win that division, and whether it takes Josh Allen to go ahead and just get really hot at the end of the division, I also feel like Mike McDaniels and the whole Tua thing might come to a head. Mike McDaniels just, smoking vapes. If anybody,
I think that
I feel
love affair in Miami's gonna probably start to fizzle.
I do, and that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna put, and I love Aaron Rodgers. I love him.
I think he's gonna resurge, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the Jets at 3. I'm gonna put New England at 4, Jets at 3. Another year. I don't know how the schedule.
Jets defense with Aaron Rodgers. Especially they're gonna have a good schedule.
That's true.
4th place schedule, right? Or schedule.
I'm putting the Bills at 1.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
I put the Bills at 1. That's true. You might have talked me into it.
Yeah.
Putting the Jets at 2, McDaniels and Tua, and your homeboy.
Miami. And I still think they're going to be 9-8, 10-7 maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's a tough division.
All right.
Not as tough as
That's
AFC
fair.
North, but that's a tough division.
That's fair. Okay, AFC West with the double back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh coming in that division, right?
Yeah.
Is that immediate impact?
Yes.
Year 1.
Yeah.
Year 1.
Yeah.
Over the Raiders.
Yeah.
Ooh. Over Denver.
Yes.
I agree with you on that one. The Chiefs, though.
I think those are going to be a 2-1 fight for that division.
Okay. You think on his inaugural year, Jim Harbaugh's coming in there,
No.
and no. He's not beating out Andy Reid, Mahomes, and whatever.
No, they're going to play B- football throughout the year. They're going to win just enough games to win that division.
It's like the Lakers in the bubble.
Yeah.
Or the Lakers with LeBron. Just give me a chip and a chair.
Right.
And just get me in, and I'm going to do my shit.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs will end up 12-5, and the Chargers will be 11-6. The Raiders will be 9-8, and the Broncos are going to be 8-9, 7-10.
Actually, I think I have to agree with you on this. I have to agree. I'm not so certain the record. As far as seeding goes, I'm going to tell you this. Here's how I feel about I have this feeling about the AFC West. I feel like it could become the new NFC South.
Not with the Chiefs there.
Right. No, I mean
the Chargers?
mediocre.
I don't think it's mediocre. I think with the Chiefs and Chargers, it's still a lot better than the NFC South.
But here's my thing.
Well, in the AFC maybe.
Right.
The AFC is so fucking loaded.
Right.
Okay.
But I feel almost as if, like I was talking about with the Lakers, if you just need a chip and a chair to get into the fucking playoffs, I'm not ruling the Chiefs out again to go ahead and do what they need to do in the playoffs, but they could go ahead and just limp in with the division title and just get in the playoffs and just go from there.
Well, that's what happened this year.
Right.
But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we both agreed that Harbaugh's a good NFL coach, a good coach in general.
Right.
Even though we don't like him.
It'll be interesting.
I think that he makes the Chargers. He's got a quarterback, and that in the NFL that means something.
And another reason why we feel like he went to the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to NFC. Where you at?
No.
NFC North.
Detroit.
Okay.
Who knows what the fuck Chicago's going to do?
Who knows what the fuck Minnesota's going to do?
Well, Kirk's going to be back.
You think?
Where else is he going to go?
Niners.
No, he's not. Why would he go to? Why would they even do that? They just had a quarterback that's.
Well, because they have Brock Purdy on that really slim contract.
Well, and it's
and
not, it wasn't his fault that they lost that Super Bowl.
No. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that Brock Purdy, we covered a couple weeks ago.
Is Kirk really putting you over the edge? I think Brock's better than Kirk.
Well, you have to remember that Kyle Shanahan was the advocate for Kirk Cousins to get drafted with
Washington.
RG3.
Yeah, but even then, what Brock has done in San Fran is insane.
And it is. But
his
I'm
winning
just saying,
percentage, and he's played well.
Right, and I'm just saying.
And he's played well in the playoffs, other than him getting hurt.
Right.
He's only lost to Pat Mahomes.
Right. So what I'm saying is, though,
in overtime,
because the NFLPA, you don't have, and you cannot extend Brock Purdy.
No, until a year after.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they brought him in and said, and let's say they went to Purdy and they said, we're bringing Kirk in. It's a 1-year deal. And Purdy, it's your job. And then they say, we want you to learn a little bit from Kirk. He's a mentor at this point. Or is there any chance of that?
No.
No.
That's way too expensive for that. Well, learn what? Brock is a better athlete. He's played better in big games.
Okay.
And
he's
already won more playoff games.
I agree with you on this, but.
And I like Kirk Cousins. I think him being
you like
in
him more
Minnesota.
than I do.
I think him being in Minnesota has kind of fucked him more than anything. But he's kind of like a good comparison for me to him would be like a Drew Bledsoe or someone that's great in regular season. The team really isn't
like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. No, like pedigree wise, yeah, basically.
Philip Rivers,
yeah. But I mean, like, you could be a lot worse than that at quarterback.
Oh, you could. Oh, yeah. But now you got to figure Kirk Cousins is older.
Not really. For the way he plays,
okay.
He's got 3 or 4 more years in him. But NFC North. I think you got Detroit. I think you have Minnesota. I think you had, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago.
Okay.
And only reason I put Chicago that low is because they're going to be dumb, trade Justin Fields, and draft Caleb Williams and start over. Which, in all honestly, they're not that far off.
Right.
In my opinion.
Okay. I'm going to go against you on this. I'm going to hop on the Jordan Love train, and I'm going to give Green Bay.
Over Detroit.
I am going to give Green Bay over Detroit.
Detroit should have won that NFC title.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I'm going Jordan Love, and I don't want to do it.
That's because you hate Jared Goff.
No, well, he's no. Because I don't love Jordan Love. I don't love Jordan Love.
I like him. That's why I put them second.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Green Bay. I was also here at Thanksgiving, and I watched Jordan Love fucking throttle Detroit at home off of Jared Goff's 3 turnovers in the first half. I should say, with subpar defense.
Who got further in the playoffs?
That's true. No, I agree with you. I feel like Green Bay.
Everybody can have a bad day.
Yeah. Okay. Green Bay. I think they overachieved.
Big time.
I think they overachieved.
Big time. I think the record's going to be about the same next
Okay,
year.
all right.
But it's the NFC, so you don't have to win that many
I'm
games.
I'm going against Dan Gamble in the Lions. And I don't hate them. I feel like Detroit's going to be, Green Bay's going to be there. Lightning
I
strikes
just don't trust their defense.
3 times. I know. I agree. They have to make some shit up on the defensive side of the ball.
And Jordan Love played well for a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl, been to another NFC title game,
Right.
and he's played really well, honestly, since he's been to Detroit.
Okay.
I don't see that changing.
That's
And
fair enough.
Yeah, they have a great wide receiver core,
so
great running back.
We're going to agree it's 1-2, right?
Yeah,
It's 1-2.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm just going to take. Okay, what's Detroit's record there, though?
They're going to win 12 or 13 games.
Okay, what's Green Bay's record?
10 or 11.
10. I'm going with 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 10. I think Detroit's going to regress.
Is the balance of power? I don't think so.
I think
they're going to get better. I think they're going to get better on defense. They got money to spend. I think they're going to get better on defense.
All right.
I think that secondary gets better. I think maybe they add another pass rusher, which I think if they get another pass rusher there, they'll be so much better. I think that'll make the secondary better.
True.
Because to me, Aiden Hutchinson is not like Myles Garrett or T.J. Watt or any of those guys. He's good. He's solid.
True.
He's like who's the guy that Cincinnati has? The DM that they have, like Sam Hubbard.
Sam Hubbard, yeah.
He's a guy like that. He's going to give you 8 to 12 sacks a year, but he's not like a pressure guy all the time.
Well, and let's not forget about Detroit's problems kind of in the middle of that defensive line, too.
Yeah.
They were giving up big fucking chunks of plays.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to get better on defense.
And on the secondary, defenses get Detroit.
Well, I think the second, just like our secondary looked a lot better this year. You know why? Because the defensive line was a lot fucking better.
And we got a new fucking coach.
Yeah, and we got a new coach. But
okay,
when the front's good, it makes the secondary look a lot better.
I feel like this is one of those divisions where it's like Green Bay, Detroit's up here, and Chicago, Minnesota's way down here.
Like, I think Minnesota's going to be fighting there with Green Bay.
Okay. Well, I just feel like there's such a big gap.
I know.
Really?
Well, okay. Chicago maybe. And that's if they do what everybody thinks they're going to do and draft a rookie quarterback.
With Caleb Williams.
With Caleb Williams. But at the same time, they're going to get a lot back. I don't know if that's draft capital. I don't know if that's players.
Sure.
And that defense looked pretty damn good at the end of the year.
It did. With Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in the NFC, anything's possible.
Okay.
But I think Minnesota's going to be fine. They need to get better defensively.
Okay.
But I think if Kirk's healthy, they have a chance. They have a chance against any.
If they retain Kirk.
What else are they going to do?
They're going to go to draft.
Well, what are they picking? Like top 15?
Yeah, but unless they decide to move up, which a lot of people thought they should have moved up last year.
Well, we're doing power rankings now.
I know. Okay.
I'm doing this.
Fair enough.
I'm doing this with the preface of them still having Kirk next year. And, I mean, all the news is basically that Caleb Williams is going number 1 and that the Bears are going to do it. Now, if they keep Justin Fields and they trade down, this might change my power rankings in the NFC.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think Chicago could be 2-3 in that division.
Okay.
Easily.
Well, it depends on where the Bears trade and who's up there and whether they want to
all
trade.
That bullshit. But they played really well at the last half.
We'll get into that. We'll get it. It's early. All right.
NFC South.
NFC South. What are you thinking?
Saints won.
We said it last year, though.
We did. But they almost won it. They were a game away.
This is a tough division.
And they beat the division winner the last game of the year.
This is tough.
Yeah. I mean, whoever wins this division is going to win like 9 or 10 games.
Again.
Yeah.
It's a mediocre division.
Yeah. Okay. 2, Tampa. Even with Baker there. I mean, it's a shit conference. It's a shit division. If they retain Mike Evans, that'll give them a boost. 3 is going to be Fuck, who else is there?
Carolina?
Besides Carolina. Carolina's would be 4.
Oh,
Anybody
Atlanta.
with a 5-9?
Atlanta.
Oh, actually, fuck.
You know, I kind of like Atlanta in this one.
All right, sorry. Atlanta 2, Carolina 3, or Atlanta 2, Tampa 3, Carolina 4.
Okay. I'm going to go with Atlanta 1. I am going to go Atlanta 1.
I just need to see who they get a quarterback.
That's
if they
the
get
problem.
Russell Wilson or they get
That's
Justin
the problem,
Fields.
and everybody's talking about it, whether it would be Justin Fields or Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Either one of those two.
Regardless, we know
they could be the favorite in that division.
Right.
For sure.
They were right up to week 17 whether they were going to win that division or make the playoffs or period anything last year. Sorry. Yeah, I think Atlanta is going to be right there. I think the defense wins games. They have so much potential on offense. God, it's like any NFL team out there. Everybody, all the fans are like, "Oh, if we just had a quarterback,
Yeah, but that defense is good.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Running back, Bijan Robinson is good.
And I like Derek Carr. I'm like you. I just feel like, Derek Carr.
He was banged up last year for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like he's still a little bit older. I feel like they're going to finish second. I feel like they're going to be second. I'm going to actually take Carolina third, or not Carolina. Tampa Bay third.
Carolina ain't winning more than 4 games.
No, I'm going to take Tampa Bay third, and I'm going to take Carolina 4.
Yeah.
They're 4.
When your quarterback's 5'9", that's what happens.
Right.
And Corey, I don't think the Browns are going to draft a center. We have a good center under contract, and we drafted a guy from Ohio State last year.
Yep. No.
If we're going to draft offensive linemen, it's going to be guard tackle.
It might be round 8.
Yeah.
Which is supplemental draft. Okay. NFC East. This is interesting. This is where it gets a little interesting.
Dallas won.
Okay. Still playing. I think the Baltimore Ravens of the NFC.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. But that's not a bad place to be.
Okay.
Give yourself a shot. I think you have Dallas and you have Philadelphia, then you have Washington, and then you have New York.
Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance Daniel Jones? Well, let me ask you this. So this is coming out too that Saquon Barkley has still not been solidified as the the Giants running back. Yeah, he signed that 1-year deal last year off the extension. Josh Jacobs, also the same situation with the Raiders.
What if Saquon came to Cleveland?
Oh, yes.
Talk about a third down running back.
Yes.
Holy fuck.
What a tandem. Nick Chubb and
you can keep
Barkley.
Saquon healthy.
Oh, sure. Daniel Jones, because of the contract they paid him, Brian Dable, they got to finish better than they did this past year, right? I would think.
They want to. I don't think they do.
And then you have,
Washington.
Yeah.
Redskins.
Yeah. With Dan, what the fuck's his face? He's come from Dallas. He's going to be the head coach now. Quinn. Who finishes better, Giants or the Redskins?
I just said Redskins 3.
Okay.
I think even with
I'm going to disagree with you on the bottom 2. I think it's going to be
Dallas, Philly.
Giants. No, I think it's Giants going to finish 3. Redskins going to be 4.
But you think Dallas, Philly 1-2?
Yeah. Here's my thing. It wouldn't surprise me.
I think they're both going to be good.
It
wouldn't be surprised me if that flips. But
it wouldn't be surprised me if Philly finishes 3 and the Giants finish 2.
I think
think about this.
I think Philly comes back up with a
Okay. Now think about this. What if, because of losing a lot of the veterans that Philly has had, and they start coming back down to earth a little bit? They've had their window. It's past their window. Maybe some of the veterans knew that. I think Dallas is finishing 1.
Philly is so young. You know how many first-round draft picks they've had in the last 4 years?
All right.
I like Brian Dable. I like the Giants. I don't hate them at all. With the quarterback situation they have, they don't really have anybody on defense that, to me, makes them perennial, like a top 10 defense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to have a favorable schedule, but to me, I think Washington has more talent. I think they have a better quarterback. I take that, and I think they have a better offensive coordinator. I would take them over, and they don't have Riverboat Ron anymore.
No.
So
Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy's out though.
Is he out?
Yeah, I thought he was out. I heard he's going to Grambling.
Hugh Jackson? They do look alike. Jesus.
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
The Giants are one of those teams that you never fucking know.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think we're going to get a rebound for the Giants. I think it's going to be Cowboys 1, Giants 2,
Wow.
Eagles 3.
Wow.
I'm going to go Eagles. I think the window is starting to close there. I also heard this that, backed by popular belief, that the tush push is not going to be disabled in the NFL all season.
Which I don't think it should be.
Okay. And we saw where they
got stuff.
Yes, we got stuff. And I think that helped the cause on that. And then Redskins 4? Redskins 4. We agree with that, right?
No, I have Redskins 3.
Okay, I have Redskins 4. I'm going to take the Giants a game over Philly. I'm going to take the Giants resurgence, and I think Dallas is... I think Dallas is
14-3.
I think Dallas wins that division by 3 or 4 games.
I think Philly's 11-6, 12-5, and I think Washington's 7-10, 8-9, and I think the Giants are going to.
I heard rumblings about this. Speaking of Barkley going to the Browns, rumblings about the possibility of Barkley going to Dallas.
Yeah, with Zeke gone
and Tony Pollard, because Tony Pollard kind of underperformed. Of course, they threw the ball a lot, though.
Yeah.
So,
Dallas was great last year.
What if you had like a split there, though, and you're not asking Saquon Barkley to be the bell cow guy now, but now you have 2 running backs in Dallas, and they both can catch the ball out of the backfield, and they both can just kind of run the ball, and you just get equal time, right?
Well, I think it'd be great in Cleveland too.
It would be.
Yeah.
But God, can you imagine?
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Saquon in that draft.
Yeah, but over Josh Allen?
No, over Baker fucking Mayfield.
Okay. You want him over a quarterback at 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Not Josh. That's why I said Josh Allen.
You could have got Josh Allen at 4.
And just sitting there.
Yeah. Josh Allen got picked at 8.
I thought Josh Allen was no, that's right. Penny Sewell was that was the Bengals draft with Jamar Chase.
No, fucking USC dickhead. Darnold was 2.
Oh, that's
3 was UCLA fucking asshole. And then we picked
Josh
Denzel.
Rosen.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen.
You could have got Saquon at 1. Well, Saquon was 2 in that draft, I think.
Right.
So you could have had Saquon at 1. And you could have had fucking Josh Allen at 4.
We took Denzel at 4.
Yeah, which I'm not mad at now, and I wasn't mad then. I was like, at least we got a Buckeye. But I wanted Chubb's cousin, Bradley Chubb.
Okay.
But just because we picked a quarterback at 1, if we would have got Saquon at 1, I wanted a QB at 4.
All right, NFC West. This is where we're probably going to
San Fran. LA, Seattle, Arizona.
Okay. This is where, and whether those reports are going to come to fruition, I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams at 1. I will take the Niners at 2. Whew, this is tough. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Cardinals. God, Cardinals of Seattle.
You think Seattle's going to drop off that much?
I think it's going to be, yeah. I'm going to take the Rams. I'm taking Rams 1. I'm taking Niners at 2. I'm going to take, and I think this division's really, really tight, especially like on the deep end of it. I think the Cardinals could definitely move up. Wow. I think everybody in this division could be 9 games plus. It could be really tight. This could be one of the tightest divisions in football. I think it could be a 11 game, 12 game winner with number 2 coming in at 11, number 3 and 4 coming in at 10 and 9. I think it'd be a game to separate all those teams. And I'm not a huge Kyler Murray fan, but I think it definitely could be that. But it's why it's way too early. I think it's a game. It's going to separate all those teams. I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking Seattle at 3. God, I don't want to do that. I'm going to take Seattle at 3, and I'm going to take the Cardinals at 4. Although it could be either flipped. I think this is one, but I feel like this division could be one of the. It could be as tight as the NFC South, but I think it's going to be like you could move all the wins up, and it could be that tight where all the NFC South, where Atlanta could win that division with 11 wins or 10 possibly.
Yeah.
Where I think the winner.
I think Arizona's going to be better. And like you said, you're not a Kyler fan.
I'm not.
I just think they're like 8-9. I don't like the coach there. But with Seattle too, that's kind of a fuck.
And
and that's why I called them 3. I think they're going to be third in that division.
I agree with you.
And to me,
the Niners.
I think LA's going to be second. I think they're going to
Okay.
win 10 or 11. And I think San Fran is just, they have too many all-pros on that team.
Yeah.
And it's if you hate Shanahan or whatever, they still win games, especially when they're healthy. I think they're still the class in the NFC, honestly.
Right.
It's going to be them in Dallas.
All right. I think we're going to save this till next pod. We're going to go through what we're hearing from the Browns camp for that. But let's go ahead and get into the... You want to do a little Cavs segment? You want to skip right to the Crying Jordans?
Let's go right to the Crying Jordans.
Let's go to the Crying Jordans. We're a lot of beers deep. We're going to go right into it right now. So, you want to start with mine?
Yes.
The Crying Jordan of the week goes to Jetta, Justin Jefferson. And there's a lot of rumors around whether Justin doing the gritty out there, doing the allies, still with Jamar Chase, those guys competing on fucking Gatorade commercial. What the fuck ever? I don't care. So it came out earlier this week, whether it be a day or two ago, that Justin Jefferson is facing a possibly Tyreek Hill paternity suit. Apparently he was dating a girl who is pre-law and a champion swimmer at the University of Louisiana, LSU. And they apparently had a little
Not
bit
the CSLU Mud Dogs?
No. So they had a little bit of, exchanges back in 2019 with Burrow, Jamar Chase, a lot of people feel like that might have been the greatest football team in college football. Greatest team ever assembled. No, I don't either. But apparently they were kind of hooking up back in 2019. They had they broke it off. Then apparently in 2023, they got back together in April, and this girl apparently said that I have conceived. Justin Jefferson says, "Well, you should have took a plan B," and you should have done it. And now that Justin Jefferson, who could set the market, as the new highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, she waited. She was waiting there, and she knows her shit, because if she is pre-law, she knows when to strike.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, what do I think? I think she's probably not wrong.
Okay. Not digging in the eagle's nest?
Well, if she's fucking a lawyer from LSU.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, she knew exactly. She's smart enough to wait, bide her time.
Well, didn't you say that he was basically telling her to hit the Plan B and
right
little Swiss-mortion clinics?
Smush-mortion. Right. So, Jetta is right on the cusp of getting paid big fucking money.
Yeah.
Well,
how many? Fuck, you made what, 19 million this year? Or?
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, he's gonna get a huge fucking contract.
Yeah.
He's got whatever the Vikings decide they're gonna do, and this goes right up with the Kirk Cousins. And let's not forget Jordan Addison, the rookie last year.
Let us not forget.
Yeah, let us not forget Jordan Addison.
He played very well.
That's
very
fucking well.
That's a great one too.
Yeah.
God, when that asshole that fucking picked him worked in Cleveland before he got there, GM. Can you fucking tell us how to goddamn draft wide receivers? Fucking asshole.
Draft wide receivers and develop them, right? Mm-hmm. So.
Well, that was his rookie year. How much development did he really get?
All right. Jetta, you're getting the crying Jordan this week.
That's beautiful.
You should just gritty to Planned Parenthood. All right. Ryan, what you got going on?
So, kind of sports related. Mine's going out to Joe Biden.
Oh, so good.
So apparently, he decided to have a dinner with a black family
in the Carolinas, right?
In the Carolinas, and he brought them over chicken fingers. As he had a hamburger.
Yes. So he went ahead and brought. I don't know if the White House coordinated this. Not a great look for Joe Biden. It's quite a ways away from Scranton. I know it's a little bit more south, but Joe Biden shows up. I'm sure that the Secret Service was there.
Right.
They went down to local Popeyes. They got some polyurethane meals, and they served it around.
How is Joe Biden not getting canceled right now?
Right.
Well, this is the way I found this was Stephen A. Smith was on Fox News.
Right.
Bitching about it, saying if Trump did this, he'd be called racist.
Right.
So how is he?
And he has a great point.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
And Stephen A. is not like a right-leaning guy at all.
No, he's not.
But at least he has the balls to say how it is.
Right.
And it's just hilarious. Like,
come on. It is hilarious.
Let's all laugh at the fucking obvious bullshit.
I mean, Joe Biden is in this.
If you ain't vote for me, you ain't black. Come on.
I mean, the guy's 82.
Right.
And this is no way we're trying to stay out of politics here. But I mean, Stephen A. has a point when he's on Hannity. He's talking about how the hell do you go down there and you serve these people fried chicken, and then you demand that you get a fucking burger.
Right. Yeah, if you're gonna I seen the headline, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It hit me out of nowhere, and this is a crying Jordan brought to you by Sean Watson, not by Pfizer. So this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I was gonna do another.
Don't know about the grape crush there. I think it said that was added in after I went ahead and put that in, but whatever.
It's still it's great.
It's salty chicken.
Well, it's
salty.
Well, let's all laugh together because it's fucking hilarious.
It is so good. The RawDawgers Sportscast, we give zero fucks about race or creed, religion a little bit. Just kidding.
The Jews.
Hamas.
we don't care about that. We do give a holy fuck about whether Biden's out there making, fucking famous recipe chicken.
Was it him or was it some like AI fucking robot eating the chicken there?
I don't know. But the simple fact that anybody on during the White House was saying, yeah, Joe, you should go down there just south of Scranton.
Get some fucking fried chicken.
Get some fucking fried chicken and put it on fucking video for social media to see. And you're go ahead.
You know what would have been great to put on that is the pranksters or whatever.
Now go ahead and give them fried chicken.
And instead of them, there's like Obama or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give them fried chicken and tell them that you need their votes. Those assholes.
Oh God.
Oh, poor Joe. Poor Joe.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, he doesn't know what's going on.
He doesn't. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, if anybody thinks he's actually doing...
I thought about something. The White House press secretary coming in off the cabinet.
God.
How the fuck do you let this happen?
She's probably running the country more than he is right now.
Can you imagine that tomorrow morning Ducey's going to be in there, Ducey Jr., is going to be like, how the hell did you ever let this happen?
Well...
How is she going to defend this?
Well, she'll defend it by needing $78 more billion to fund the border in Ukraine.
Jesus. Poor Joe.
Fuck him, but poor him, because he's too old to know.
And he has zero chance of winning the election, right?
Dude, well, he probably has all the chances. It's not going to be counted correctly.
Well, I mean, Trump's leading all the polls. It's not
by a large.
It's not even fair at this point. Yeah. I mean, not to get down the Republican Party, but Nikki Haley just talked out there a month ago talking about she didn't really think slavery's a bad thing, or she didn't really understand it, and she's supposed to be the fucking smart one of the party.
She just got her ass whipped in the same state that she was governor.
Right, in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, apparently, she just got Secret Service because she needs it. But RFK Jr. is not getting Secret Service.
You know why she needs it? She's not frying that fucking chicken.
Well, that's true.
That's true. We're making a chicken.
Well, she obviously doesn't know that the Colonel eats his own chicken.
All right. We're going to get into a little bit more of these, the combine that's going on right now. What we feel the Browns should do, whether status quo, anything. We were on TikTok for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know why.
My phone's so dead. But, you know what? Tell us where we're right. Tell us where we're wrong. Perfect. Get on here. Go ahead and
send
subscribe.
Send us to Crying Jordan so we can put them up.
Please, Crying Jordans. Get in the chat. Dalton, we appreciate that.
Yep.
Get in there. Corey, yes. Tell us where we're right. We appreciate the chats.
Where Colin was wrong.
Right. Ultimately, we want to go ahead and get your takes on it. We would love to do a lot of this shit on also TikTok. And just, we'd love to kind of follow the chat. Hopefully, the Chinese TikTok people will actually approve our desktop application, and then we'll go from there, right?
We figured it.
All right. Until next week, RawDawgers out.
RawDawgers out.
Ugh.